The Food and Drug Administration is announcing changes to the use of many antimicrobial drugs in animal feed. Where you've previously been able to sell medicated feed containing certain antimicrobials over the counter to animal producers, beginning on January 1st, 2017, you will not be able to unless the producers have an order called a Veterinary Feed Directive, or VFD, from a licensed veterinarian for that feed. There are also additional requirements for distributors of VFD feed. These changes won't apply to all antimicrobials, just those that are also used in human medicine. These antimicrobials are known as medically important antimicrobials. Also, by the beginning of 2017, you'll see changes to the labels of medically important antimicrobials for use in feed. Gone will be the statements that the antimicrobial promotes growth or feed efficiency. The drug sponsors working with FDA are voluntarily removing those claims from the labels. With those statements gone from the labels, the use of the antimicrobials for those purposes will no longer be legal. Why these changes? To address the issue of antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance means that bacteria develop resistance to the antimicrobial drugs used to fight them. This is a serious health concern in both human and veterinary medicine, and FDA has taken these steps to help address this issue. The change in the way medically important antimicrobials are provided to animal producers means the distribution and use of these drugs will now be under the Veterinary Feed Directive, or VFD rule. Implemented by FDA, this rule permits veterinarians to authorize the use of certain drugs that FDA's Center for Veterinary Medicine, or CVM, has approved as VFD drugs in or on animal feed. Beginning on January 1st, 2017, medically important antimicrobials will switch from their over-the-counter status to VFD drug status. The VFD rule specifies the roles and responsibilities of the three parties involved in the process of authorizing, distributing, and feeding VFD feeds: the veterinarian, the VFD feed distributor, and the animal producer client. CVM believes it's important to involve veterinarians in making decisions about the use of antimicrobials. They have the medical training necessary to diagnose disease and identify the appropriate antimicrobial for specific situations.
Really?
Their involvement is expected to ensure judicious use of antimicrobials and help reduce any misuse or overuse. If you distribute VFD feeds, you are subject to the VFD rule. You are a VFD feed distributor if you distribute a feed that contains a VFD drug to another person, such as an animal producer, or even to another distributor. It makes no difference whether you manufacture the VFD feeds you distribute or you distribute VFD feeds manufactured by someone else. If you're a VFD feed distributor, there are some key points about VFD medicated feeds you need to know. First, before filling your first VFD feed order, you must send a one-time notification letter to CVM notifying the center of your intent to distribute VFD feeds. The distributor notification needs to include your complete business name and address, your signature or the signature of your authorized agent, and the date the notification was signed. You need to send the distributor notification only once. However, if there's a change in your business, such as a change in the company's ownership or their address, you need to send notification of that change to CVM within 30 days after the change occurs. Second, you are not permitted to release a VFD feed to an animal producer until you receive a lawful VFD for the VFD feed issued by a licensed veterinarian. A lawful VFD will include several pieces of information, such as identification of the veterinarian, the client, and the animals to receive the VFD feed. For more information about what's required on the order, please go to FDA's Safe Feed webpage, www.fda.gov/safefeed, to read the brochures that explain the requirements. In some cases, the animal producer can bring a copy of the VFD to you. In other cases, the veterinarian can send the copy directly to you. The VFD can be on paper, or it might be issued electronically. Either way, it must be completely filled out and signed by the veterinarian. The veterinarian can sign an order issued electronically if the veterinarian can meet the requirements for an electronic signature. Note, you must receive a written VFD. An order issued orally is not a lawful VFD. Keep a copy of the VFD for 2 years from when it was issued. If you're shipping a VFD feed to another distributor, you must first receive an acknowledgement letter from that distributor. This letter must indicate that the other distributor has complied with the notification requirements, that the distributor knows not to provide the VFD feed to an animal producer without a VFD, and knows not to ship the feed to another distributor without receiving an acknowledgement letter. You must keep the acknowledgement letter for 2 years from the date of the last shipment of feed. VFD drugs come as Type A medicated articles. Type A medicated articles are not medicated feeds. Instead, they are drug sources used to manufacture medicated feeds. Type A medicated articles are then mixed into Type B or Type C medicated feeds. Only Type C medicated feeds can be fed to animals. Type B medicated feeds are intermediate products used to make Type C medicated feeds. Type C feeds can also be made from other Type C medicated feeds. Type B and Type C medicated feeds containing a VFD drug or a drug combination are VFD feeds. All VFD drugs or feeds, regardless of whether they are Type A, B, or C, must be correctly labeled. Their labeling and advertising must include this statement: "Caution, federal law restricts medicated feed containing this veterinary feed directive drug to use by or on the order of a licensed veterinarian." If you'd like to see more information and other videos about VFD feeds, please visit CVM's Safe Feed webpage at www.fda.gov/safefeed. Thank you.